Good afternoon, folks, or should I say good evening, actually. I'm getting it mixed up because it's daylight, but it is 7:55 p.m. and the sun will be setting, I don't know, maybe half an hour to an hour or so. Completed a day of work and here I am now, walking through the woodlands, which I just absolutely love. So today I wanted to talk about spiritual attacks in your dreams. I was actually going to talk about something else today, but considering what happened to me yesterday, I thought it would be fitting to speak about it today. So last night, after the walk and talk, I did some affirmations before bed and went to sleep. When I went to sleep, I had this strange dream, very strange dream, that the narc was communicating with me, but he was hoovering me in my dream. It was so weird. He was hoovering me in my dream, trying to seduce me in my dream. I'm not actually entirely sure if he succeeded because I don't really remember the full dream, but I know he was trying to physically seduce me in the dream. I don't even know where I was because I don't remember being there in his country, but I just remember him trying to seduce me. And in the dream, I was very uncomfortable and I felt like he was trying to seduce me for revenge because I had preemptively discarded him. That's how it felt to me. So I remember in the dream speaking to him. I don't know what I was saying, but I woke up, and the way I woke up was I heard myself speaking. I was talking in my sleep and I heard myself speaking, and I don't know what I was saying, but I woke up. I woke up and I felt somewhat disturbed. I felt like someone had I felt like he tried to seduce me in my dreams. So I had a drink, had some water, and I went back to sleep. So this all happened when I woke up, maybe about 3 a.m. I went back to sleep and then it continued. It basically continued, and I remember saying, no, I'm not interested. And he kept trying to persuade me to get back with him. And in my heart, I knew that the only reason he wanted to get back with me was to soothe his bruised pride, because I'd given him a serious narcissistic injury by preemptively discarding. And he felt that he owned me. This is what they do. They think that they own you. They don't see you as human beings with feelings. You're just an extension of them. You know, you're just an object to be picked up and put down at a whim. And I remember refusing him and saying, no, I'm not interested and you'll never change. I remember saying in the dream to him, you'll never change. I know you won't change. And even if you do change, you're good for change for maybe a week, if that. So I declined, and I remember him saying to me, well, how about we move to the Virgin Islands? And I was thinking, what? What do you even know? Do you even know where the Virgin Islands are? What is this insanity you're saying to me? And then I woke up. And I felt so disturbed from that dream. So completely disturbed. And it felt like someone was trying to infiltrate my dreams in the astral plane. And it's strange because this entire week past, I felt uneasy about sleeping. I've been saying dream protection protocols, and I've been doing soul fragment retrieval affirmations, called severance rituals, and praying as well. And I felt that I've had to do this because if I don't, it feels like I'm vulnerable and I'm open to attack in my sleep. And I've been feeling this way for a week at least. And then this happened last night. Now, people will think that you're crazy if you was to discuss this with anyone. But you should know that certain toxic types, narcissists, can involve themselves in dark magic and energies. We know that they've got parasitic attachments to them, but they can be involved in dark magic. I know for one that when I was out there in his country with him, there were a few things that made me uneasy. One situation where there was a knock on the door and a woman came and started chanting and patting him down and chanting some ritual words. And I asked him, what is this about? And he said, oh, my aunt has come to bless me. It's not religious. Never seen him go to church or read the Bible or anything like that. And it just seemed very strange. Very, very strange. The whole family doesn't seem religious. There's no crucifix, there's no Christian or any religious items, paraphernalia, anything in the home, but yet this person came to bless him, patting him down, chanting from head to toe, and it wasn't any kind of Christian scripture that she was saying. So there was that. There was another occasion where he came round to my apartment and he said, oh, my mum's made these snacks for you. Try some. And I said, no, I don't want any, thank you. At the time, I didn't feel like it and I just didn't want them. And he was trying to encourage me to eat them and I said, no, thank you, maybe later. And then he left them and he was eating them in front of me and then he left them. And then I decided to have some a few hours later when I was by myself, and check my mouth. And when I had them, not long afterwards, I started bleeding heavily. Bleeding, seriously bleeding, and no menstrual cycle was due. That had finished a week or two before, so it wasn't due. And that there made me feel like, what the hell is going on? And I always had this strange feeling about his mother. Another situation was that this is quite sensitive really, we were intimate and he left the door open in his home, his room door, and his mum just came in and looked me in the eye and then closed the door. And he just continued, paused and then continued. And it just felt like that sort of ritual there, it just felt like it was a ritual, like it could have been some kind of binding ritual that had occurred. And so when I think about all of those sorts of things, it has a correlation to how I'm feeling now. And as I said, people will say, oh, you're going crazy. This is why I wouldn't really share this with friends and family. And you're thinking, why the hell am I saying it on my channel then? But not everyone will resonate with this, but some of you will. And I've learned now never to doubt my intuition. And my intuition is telling me that I'm being attacked in my dreams, and that basically since I have been doing the called severance rituals, soul fragment retrieval, calling back my energy, astral revocations and praying, that these attacks are being ramped up against me. And because I'm on a different continent, these attacks are being done to me in the dreamscape, in the astral plane. And obviously not physically, because there's no way for them to get to me physically. So they're doing it spiritually. And, you know, narcissists as well, they're all warlocks and sorcerers in their own way. Even the manipulation that they do, the emotional manipulation that they do, is a form of witchcraft. Yeah, it is. Even in the Bible, it tells you that. So I'm feeling attacked, but I will continue to pray and continue to call my energy back. This has actually been happening more so over the past week, since I started calling back my energy every single day in the morning and the evening. Now I feel like I'm being attacked in my dreams. So you think about it, you can think to yourself, oh, no contact, and that has severed the connection. But not necessarily so. If you're with these demonic people, then the physical presence is not necessary for them to have a remaining connection with you, energetic connection. And severing those energetic connections can take a lot of work. A lot of work regarding praying, rituals, and affirmation. And when you start to recall your energy, you may find that you're attacked in your dreams. You're attacked in that way because these demonic narcissists can be feeding off of you through these energetic calls, even when you're not there. Even when you're not there. So that is what I feel has been happening to me. Dogs fighting behind. That's what's been happening to me. That is what my intuition tells me. And this is why I will never, ever just be with someone without knowing their spirit, without discerning their spirit first. Because if you don't do that and you have physical and emotional intimacy with them, you can form an energetic connection, spiritual connection with them, and that is far harder to break. And if they have an evil spirit, their aim was to feed from you, then they can establish these etheric hooks into you and steal your energy, harvest your energy, even years after you've parted, years. And this, I believe, is what happens to chosen ones, light workers, empaths. You may think, oh, well, you know, they've discarded me, or I've had to reverse discard them, or it's fizzled out. But they knew who you were before you knew who you were. They knew. And although you may think, oh, they're not bothered because they haven't made any contact at all, because mine hasn't made any contact. I'm not even going to say mine, because I hate when people say my narc. No, the narc hasn't made any contact with me. I do feel that his family are a den of demons, and I think that he was a conduit for his mother. I think his mother is harvesting my energy and using him as the conduit, and I don't feel that he fully knows what he's into. Yes, he's going along with it, but I don't think he knows exactly what the implications of what he's doing has. But nonetheless, he is in it too. They're in it. But I do feel that the mum, just creepy. There were times that she would just stare at me. Just stare. I remember, you know, your spirit doesn't lie. And I always knew that I didn't feel comfortable with her. You know, I didn't want to be around her. And, you know, when it comes to people's mums, you always want to sort of make an effort. And I did. But at the same time, I just felt very uneasy. And I would see her just staring, just this stare. And it wasn't a normal human stare. It was a cold, devoid stare through those glasses, just staring at me like, oh, creepy, very creepy. So, you know, bear that in mind, that They don't need to contact you. You may think, oh, they're not contacting me, they don't care. They could not be contacting you and not hoovering you because they're feeding off you. They're feeding off of you energetically. They still have hooks in you energetically. And you won't necessarily know this. You may think, oh, we've ended, the relationship's ended, and that is that. But no, my friends, as the Bible says, we do not fight against flesh. It is the principalities of evil. And that means, evil entities from different dimensions and planes that are not of this world. And this is what we are dealing with. So that's why I will never have a casual relationship, intimate relationship with someone. And I will always take my time to discern the spirit before I even let someone in my company and energy, let alone intimacy, because intimacy is an exchange of energy. And those that do not have connection to source seek to steal your energy, steal your life force, your chi, your prana, your energy. They will, because they don't have a connection to it and they can't generate it. So they need you. You are their battery. You are their supply. And as a chosen one, an empath, a light worker, they will do anything to take your energy, and know that it doesn't require them to be physically present to do so. Okay? It doesn't. So just be aware of this, chosen ones, empaths, light workers, starseeds. Be aware. Be aware of the dangers that surround us and those beings that seek to harvest our energy and drain us. Just be careful, my friends. So that's that, really. That's what I wanted to talk about. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and protect your energy, my friends. Call back your energy. Don't be scared to call back your energy because of what I've said. Call back your energy from all places and situations and people. Call it back. It's yours, and it doesn't belong with those that seek to do evil with it, because that is exactly what they'll do. They'll take your energy and they'll do evil with your energy. Okay? So like, share, comment, subscribe, and I shall see you soon. Take care.